Hello. This is David from Kadikamu. SDA Church today am taking through The Blueprint for a Little Kingdom, a story of the Adventist home. Imagine holding a set of blueprints. They are not for a towering skyscraper or a grand public monument, but for something far more intimate and essential, a home. This is the essence of Ellen G. White's book, The Adventist Home. It is a collection of her counsels, gathered from decades of letters and manuscripts, all designed to show how to build a Christian household, what she called a little kingdom on earth. The story the book tells begins before the foundation is even laid. Its first chapters are about the architects and builders, the husband and wife. It paints a picture of courtship and marriage as a sacred partnership, a bond to be entered with care, prayer, and a shared love for God. It speaks of love not as a fleeting feeling, but as a golden thread to be woven into the fabric of daily life through unselfish acts and gentle words. Once the covenant is made, the book guides you in raising the walls of the home. It offers counsel on creating an atmosphere of peace and joy, where patience and kindness are the law of the house. It speaks to fathers and mothers, reminding them that their most important work is not in the office or the field, but within their own walls. They are to be teachers, pastors, and prophets to their own children. Then, the book furnishes this spiritual home. It dedicates chapters to the roles of each family member. The mother is honored as the heart of the home, a queen whose influence shapes the character of the next generation. The father is called to be a priest, leading the family in worship and surrounding them with a sense of security and love. Children are taught the beauty of obedience, respect, and helpfulness. The story within these pages also acknowledges the storms that beat against every house. It offers counsel on navigating disagreements, maintaining financial integrity, and guarding against the outside influences that seek to tear a family apart. It is a practical guide for the spiritual battles that are fought in every living room. Finally, the Adventist home looks beyond the front door. It reminds the reader that the earthly home is but a training ground, a preparation for the heavenly home Christ has gone to prepare. By following this divine blueprint, a family can create a little heaven on earth, a place where God's presence dwells, and where each member is prepared to become a part of his eternal family. In the end, this book is not just a collection of counsels. It is a story of hope, a manual for building a legacy of faith, love, and joy that can last for eternity. Chapter 1. The Home Environment. Ellen G. White emphasizes the importance of a healthy home environment for individuals and society. She highlights the significance of family, the church, and the community in fostering good home life. The home is described as a safety haven where love, patience, and understanding nurture positive environment for children. Through loving, patient parents, children develop a sense of belonging and safety. White also emphasizes the role of Christian character, especially the Spirit of God present within the home. Through prayer, kind acts, and obedience, parents can instill Christian values in their children, creating a sense of belonging. Furthermore, good self-control and emotional discipline are crucial in maintaining a positive home atmosphere, demonstrating love and understanding. Discipline should emanate from genuine love and understanding, avoiding harsh criticism or arguments. The chapter also highlights the educational function of the home, emphasizing the importance of teaching respect, responsibility, kindness, and obedience to children. If these lessons are taught correctly, children grow into responsible and morally aware adults. The author also emphasizes the importance of the home environment in determining happiness and moral development. Inspired by the Spirit of God, parents must strive to create a positive, nurturing home atmosphere that promotes healthy, emotional, and spiritual growth for all family members. Chapter 2. Fundamentals of True Homemaking. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explores the foundational principles that create successful Christian homes. She argues that true homemaking is a sacred responsibility and one of the most important duties entrusted to human beings. White explains that true homemaking involves more than merely maintaining a physical house. It involves nurturing relationships, cultivating spiritual values, and guiding family members toward moral and spiritual growth. A true home is built on love, faith, and mutual respect. One of the central ideas in this chapter is that a home must be centered on God. The presence of God in the home is what brings true happiness and harmony. Families should establish regular times for prayer, Bible study, and spiritual reflection. These practices strengthen faith and unite family members. White also emphasizes the importance of cooperation within the family. Each member of the household has responsibilities and contributions to make. When family members work together and support one another, the home becomes a place of unity and productivity. Another principle discussed is the importance of simplicity. White encourages families to avoid excessive luxuries and unnecessary material pursuits. Instead, families should focus on developing character, spiritual growth, and meaningful relationships. Chapter 6. Choosing a life partner, an important decision. In this chapter, Ellen G. White addresses the crucial decision of selecting a life partner. She emphasizes that marriage is not merely a social partnership but a sacred, lifelong commitment based on God. Many people approach marriage without proper consideration, selecting partners based on emotions or physical attraction rather than character, spirituality, and compatibility. This often results in unhappiness and conflict. Instead, White advises young people to deeply reflect on the long-term consequences of marriage. Marriage affects not only the couple but also future children and families, making it an important decision to make with prayer and consideration. Spiritual compatibility is central to this chapter's focus. It is crucial that spouses share the same faith and commitment to God, as this forms a solid foundation for a healthy marriage. Another key aspect is seeking guidance from parents and wise counselors. Young people should not make decisions solely based on their own judgment, but listen to the advice of experienced individuals who have seen it all. Furthermore, the importance of patience is highlighted. Rushing into marriage without proper preparation can lead to complications in the future. White emphasizes that true love grows with time and mutual sacrifices. She also highlights the role of prayer in decision-making, as it can provide guidance and wisdom in making choices that align with God's will. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that marriage can bring immense happiness when built on faith, mutual respect, and proper planning. You need to review the text to determine if it violates any guidelines, policies, or regulations. If you need assistance with generating concise summaries or condensing specific aspects of the text, please leave your question and I'll be happy to help. Chapter 10. Healthy Relationships. This chapter examines the importance of healthy relationships in the context of Christianity, emphasizing the role of trust, communication, and love. Positive relationships are essential for spiritual growth and overall well-being. They cultivate trust, emotional stability, and emotional intelligence. Ellen G. White highlights the benefits of healthy relationships, such as happiness, improved self-esteem, and a sense of purpose. She also emphasizes the importance of communication in relationships, as it helps prevent misunderstandings and conflicts. Furthermore, love is central to successful relationships. It should not be confused with romantic excitement or superficial attraction. She advises individuals to prioritize their relationships above all else, focusing on commitment and sincerity. The chapter concludes by encouraging readers to seek God's guidance in their relationships, emphasizing that healthy relationships reflect the character of Christ, patient, unselfish, and enduring. Chapter 9. Forbidden Marriages. Discusses challenges in interfaith marriages due to cultural and belief differences. It emphasizes objective evaluation, seeking wisdom from mentors, and biblical compatibility. Chapter 10. Seeking Wise Advice highlights objective evaluation based on biblical principles. Chapter 11. When counsel is necessary focuses on seeking wisdom from mentors, emphasizing the value of insight. Chapter 12. Compatibility highlights importance of spiritual, emotional, and life goals compatibility in marriage, noting successful marriages depend on harmony. Emotional compatibility is crucial, including communication, conflict resolution, and support through difficulties. Individuals with vastly different personalities or expectations may face misunderstandings. Chapter encourages individuals to carefully observe potential partners, valuing traits such as kindness, patience, honesty, and responsibility, as well as shared life goals. Chapter warns against misbelieving that love can overcome all differences, noting that unresolved conflicts may grow stronger over time. It reminds readers that true compatibility involves mutual respect and adaptation within marriage. Chapter concludes by encouraging individuals to seek God's guidance through prayer and thoughtful reflection, making well-informed decisions leading to lasting happiness. Chapter 13, Domestic Training addresses the importance of preparing young people for family life, highlighting that many marital problems arise due to entering marriage without practical skills or understanding. It emphasizes the value of teaching domestic responsibilities from an early age. These activities teach valuable qualities such as diligence, responsibility, cooperation, and self-discipline. When young people learn domestic responsibilities, they develop habits that benefit them in adulthood. The author also emphasizes the importance of teaching financial responsibility, including understanding of the value of money, saving, and avoiding unnecessary debt. Another important aspect is the development of practical skills, including managing daily tasks and organizing homes. White also highlights the educational role of parents, explaining that they should actively guide their children's development by teaching moral values, work habits, and life skills. The chapter encourages parents to avoid overprotecting their children, shielding them from responsibility, preventing them from developing independence and confidence. White also notes that domestic training strengthens family relationships, leading to cooperation and respect among family members. Overall, this chapter emphasizes the importance of practical training within the home, preparing individuals for marriage and responsible citizenship.
Chapter 14. True Conversion for Marriage Success. Ellen G. White emphasizes the importance of spiritual transformation prior to marriage. A successful marriage depends on an authentic devotion to God, which forms a strong foundation. White believes that human effort alone may not guarantee lasting harmony. Unspiritual minds often succumb to selfishness, pride, and impatience. By turning to God, individuals undergo a life-changing transformation that shapes their hearts and character, fostering strong, respectful relationships. The chapter highlights the role of personal, spiritual discipline in maintaining a strong connection with God. Daily prayer, Bible study, and reflection promote spiritual growth. Continuous spiritual growth permeates married life, with couples encouraging each other's faith growth and moral development. Furthermore, parents play an essential role in their children's spiritual development. When parents display sincere faith, children are more likely to adopt similar values. The chapter concludes by emphasizing The role of a home founded on God's presence as a sanctuary of peace, love, and strength. Section 5 from the Marriage Altar. Chapter 15, Commitment to God. In this section, Ellen G. White elucidates the sacred nature of marriage vows. She emphasizes that these vows signify a serious commitment to God, becoming lifelong partners. Marriage vows encompass trust, faithfulness, and loyalty. They demand commitment to honoring duties in all aspects of life. White elucidates that couples should enter marriage with awareness of their responsibilities. They should commit to honoring their vows consistently through actions and attitudes. Furthermore, the chapter highlights the importance of perseverance during challenging times. Marriage is full of obstacles, but couples should steadfastly maintain their promises and tackle obstacles together. Furthermore, mutual support significantly contributes to a strong relationship. In a spirit of goodwill, spouses should share responsibilities, lean on each other, and offer emotional support. The chapter also highlights the importance of shared personal growth within the partnership. When spouses facilitate each other's development, the relationship flourishes. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that a successful marriage embodies love, patience, and selflessness, all adhering to Christian principles. Chapter 1:6. A happy, successful partnership. This chapter focuses on the qualities that contribute to a successful marriage. Partnership. White explains that happiness in marriage does not occur automatically. It requires effort, patience, and a willingness to place the needs of one's partner above personal desires. Mutual respect is one of the most important elements of a successful partnership. When spouses treat each other with kindness and appreciation, they create an atmosphere of harmony within the home.
Katonda oyo gwoweereza bulijjo anaakuwonya. Ne baleeta ejjinja ne baliteeka ku mulyango gw'empuku, kabaka n'alissaako akabonero ke ye era n'akabonero k'abaami be, ekigambo kyonna kireme okukyusibwa eri Danyeri. Kabaka n'addayo mu lubiri lwe, ekiro ekyo n'atalya mmere era n'agaana n'okumuleetera ebivuga eby'okumusanyusa, otulo ne tumubula. Awo ku makya nnyo obudde nga busaasaana, kabaka n'agolokoka n'ayanguwa n'agenda ku mpuku omuli empologoma. Awo bwe yasemberera empuku omwali Danyeri, n'akoowoola Danyeri mu ddoboozi ery'ennaku nti, "Ggwe Danyeri, omuddu wa Katonda omulamu, Katonda ogw'oweerezanga bulijjo ayinzizza okukuwonya empologoma?" Danyeri n'addamu kabaka nti, "Ayi kabaka, obenga omulamu emirembe gyonna. Katonda wange yatumye malayika we n'aziba emimwa gy'empologoma, ne zitankolako kabi, kubanga mu maaso ge siriko kye nasobya, era ne mu maaso go, ayi kabaka, sirina kabi konna ke nakola." Kabaka n'asanyuka nnyo nnyini n'alagira okuggyamu Danyeri mu mpuku.
Chapter 17. Mutual Obligations. In this chapter, Ellen G. White argues that marriage necessitates fulfilling duties for both husband and wife. Both partners share responsibilities in nurturing the family's well-being emotionally, practically, and spiritually. Selfishness should not dominate the relationship. Both partners should be willing to sacrifice for the benefit of the marriage. The chapter highlights the significance of fairness and respect. Couples should acknowledge each other's contributions and avoid criticism or disdain. Mr. and Mrs. White emphasize the importance of supporting personal growth and development for both partners. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that mutual obligations enhance the bond between spouses, creating harmony within the home. Chapter 18. Marital Duties and Privileges. This chapter examines the responsibilities and rewards married couples receive. Marriage offers companionship, emotional support, and opportunities for personal growth, but these benefits come with responsibilities. Spouses must display faithfulness, kindness, and patience towards one another, fostering love in the relationship. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of maintaining respect for both partners. Mr. and Mrs. White encourage couples to maintain strong spiritual connections through prayer and faith. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that when spouses honor their duties, marriage blossoms into joy, stability, and spiritual growth. Section 6. The New Home. Chapter 19. Where the Home Is. In this section, Ellen G. White discusses the importance of selecting a suitable location for the home. She believes that the location can greatly influence a family's physical health, spiritual development, and moral character. White argues that placing the home in a peaceful, straightforward, and close-knit environment is ideal. She believes that rural areas often offer many advantages over crowded cities, as they provide cleaner air, more opportunities for work, and fewer negative influences. A crowded city often exacerbates problems like temptations, distractions, and exposure to unhealthy influences, affecting children's development negatively. White also emphasizes the importance of preserving the dignity and respect of one's partner. Mr. and Mrs. White encourage couples to maintain a strong spiritual connection through shared prayer and faith. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that the true value of a home does not depend on its size or cost, but on the spirit it radiates. A modest home filled with love can be more valuable than a large house filled with conflict or unfeelingness. Chapter 20, The Family and the City. In this chapter, Ellen G. White examines the challenges that families face when living in large cities. While cities offer opportunities for employment and education, they also present many dangers that can threaten family stability and spiritual well-being. Chapter 21 discusses the benefits of living in the country, including better air quality, natural beauty, and opportunities for outdoor activities, positively impacting physical and mental health. It also highlights the value of rural work, including farming, gardening, and other manual labor, fostering discipline, patience, and responsibility. Additionally, rural locations offer a safer environment for children, less exposed to harmful urban influences. Chapter 22 provides practical advice for designing and furnishing a home, focusing on comfort, functionality, and modesty over extravagance. It emphasizes the importance of hospitality and creating a strong spiritual atmosphere within the home through family worship, prayer, and moral instruction. In Chapter 23, White highlights the importance of children as gifts from God, emphasizing their joy, purpose, and personal growth opportunities. She encourages parents to recognize their sacred responsibility in raising them. White also emphasizes their spiritual significance, showing how parents can guide their children toward moral and spiritual maturity. In Chapter 24, White addresses the responsibilities associated with large families. She encourages parents to consider their ability to provide proper care, education, and spiritual guidance when planning their families. White explains that raising children requires time, resources, and emotional commitment. That they can meet these responsibilities before bringing additional children into the family. The chapter emphasizes quality of parenting rather than simply the number of children. Each child deserves attention, instruction, and loving guidance. White also encourages parents to consider the health and well-being of the mother. Proper care and rest are essential for maintaining a healthy family environment. The chapter concludes by encouraging thoughtful and responsible decision-making in matters related to family planning. Chapter 25, Caring for Needy Children. In this chapter, Ellen G. White highlights the Christian responsibility to care for children who lack proper support or family protection. She explains that many children in society suffer from poverty, neglect, or abandonment. Christians should respond with compassion and generosity toward these vulnerable individuals. White encourages families to open their homes and hearts to children in need. Whenever possible, providing care, education, and love can transform a child's life. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of teaching compassion to children. When families engage in acts of kindness and service, children learn the value of helping others. White also encourages churches and communities to work together in supporting orphaned or disadvantaged children. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that caring for needy children reflects the love and compassion of God. Chapter 26, Parents' Legacy to Children. In this chapter, Ellen G. White discusses the legacy left by parents to their children. emphasizing character and faith as the most valuable inheritance. Parents shape their children's character through teaching, example, and nurturing faith within the home. White highlights the importance of moral education, emphasizing honesty, integrity, and responsibility. Spiritual instruction is also crucial, providing children with a strong foundation for life. The most significant legacy parents can leave their children is a life of faith, integrity, and love. Section 8. The Successful Family. Chapter 2:7. A Sacred Circle. According to Ellen G. White, the family is an institution created by God and serves as the foundation of society. A successful family is characterized by love, trust, and spiritual growth. Positive family relationships, governed by Christian principles, lead to harmony and happiness. White emphasizes the importance of unity in the family, while providing guidance on how to protect the home from harmful influences. Family members should work together, cooperating and supporting each other. White promotes the importance of forgiveness and understanding under difficult circumstances, reminding readers of the lasting impact forgiveness can have. Lastly, Chapter 28. The Child's First School. The home serves as the first and most important school for a child. Parents, as the first teachers, play a crucial role in shaping a child's character and life skills. The lessons taught in early childhood have a lasting impact on a person's character and life. White highlights the importance of education, emphasizing the lessons learned at home in shaping the foundation of future learning and development. Through example, patience, love, and encouragement, parents can help children develop confidence, curiosity, and a love for learning. Together, these lessons shape a strong foundation for the rest of a child's life, setting the stage for lasting spiritual growth and development. Chapter 2:9. A work that cannot be transferred. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explains that the responsibility of raising children cannot be delegated entirely to teachers, schools, or other institutions. Parents must remain actively involved in the moral and spiritual development of their children. White warns that some parents rely too heavily on external institutions to educate and discipline their children. While schools and churches can provide valuable support, they cannot replace the influence of parents. The author emphasizes that parental guidance is essential for shaping character. Parents must provide consistent instruction, correction, and encouragement. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that the work of raising children is one of the most important responsibilities entrusted to human beings. Chapter 29. And work that can't be transferred. Ellen G. White explained that parenting abilities aren't something that can be delegated to other institutions, like teachers or schools. Parents are the primary responsible for their child's moral and spiritual growth. She warns that parents might rely too much on external resources to educate and discipline their kids. While schools and churches do provide valuable support, they can't completely outperform or replace the influence that parents have. The main point of this chapter is that strong parental guidance is crucial for shaping a character. Parents need to provide consistent and uplifting support to their children. White talks about how parental understanding and guidance is vital for their children's future. By understanding their children's needs and offering consistent motivation, parents can help guide them effectively. Another important topic covered in this chapter is the value of spending quality time with children. Spending a lot of time together allows parents to get to know their kids better and give them the best possible guidance. Another key theme discussed in the chapter is personal responsibility. Parents need to understand that their children's character and future depend on the training they provide from home. White encourages parents to take their role seriously and to really try to approach it with commitment and prayer. The last part of the chapter concludes by stressing that one of the most significant jobs given to humans is the task of raising children. Chapter 30. Family Companionship. This chapter is all about building strong relationships within the family. Ellen G. White explains that having companionship with family members can enhance emotional ties and improve the overall happiness within the home. White encourages parents to make time to be close to their children, engaging in shared activities, conversing and experiencing things together can create a strong bond between the parents and their children. The chapter also talks about the importance of having healthy friendships between parents and children. When children feel that they can trust their parents with their feelings and thoughts, they are more likely to seek guidance from them during difficult times. The chapter also discusses the responsibility of communication. When family members are open and respectful with their thoughts and feelings, they can maintain healthy relationships. White warns that excessive work or other commitments can weaken family relationships if it reduces the amount of time spent together. Another important point in this chapter is the importance of mutual encouragement. Parents should support each other's dreams and celebrate each other's accomplishments. The chapter concludes by stressing that a strong bond within the family can form a solid foundation for lifelong relationships. The author also highlights the importance of fairness and understanding in discipline. Children should be corrected with patience rather than harshness. Another key theme is emotional stability. Parents should strive to maintain a calm and supportive atmosphere within the home. White also encourages parents to listen to their children and respect their feelings. When children feel understood, they are more likely to develop trust and respect for their parents. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that a loving home environment provides the security necessary for children to grow into responsible adults. Chapter 32. Preoccupy the Garden of the Heart. In this chapter, Ellen G. White uses the metaphor of a garden to describe the development of character. Just as a garden must be carefully cultivated to produce healthy plants, the hearts and minds of children must be carefully nurtured. White explains that negative influences such as selfishness, dishonesty, and disobedience can grow in a child's character if they are not addressed early. Parents should actively teach positive virtues such as kindness, patience, honesty, and respect. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of early training. Habits formed during childhood often remain throughout life. White encourages parents to guide their children with patience and love while correcting harmful behaviors. Another important theme is the influence of environment. A positive home atmosphere encourages the growth of good character. The chapter concludes by reminding parents are careful moral training helps children develop strong and virtuous character. Chapter 33. Promises of Divine Guidance. In this chapter, Ellen G. White reassures parents that God provides guidance and support for those who seek to raise their children according to his principles. White encourages parents to rely on prayer and faith when facing challenges in family life. The author explains that raising children can be difficult, but God offers wisdom and strength to those who seek his help. The chapter also highlights the importance of trusting in God's promises. Parents who faithfully teach their children spiritual values can trust that God will work in their lives. White encourages families to maintain hope and perseverance even when facing difficulties. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that divine guidance is available to every family that sincerely seeks God's direction. Section 9. Father, the House Band. Chapter 34. The Father's Position and Responsibilities. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explains the important role that a father plays in the family. She describes the father as the head of the household who has been given responsibility to guide and protect his family. According to White, the father should lead his home with love, wisdom, and spiritual commitment. One of the key responsibilities of the father is to provide spiritual leadership. White encourages fathers to take an active role in family worship, prayer, and moral instruction. By guiding the spiritual life of the home, the father helps ensure that the family remains grounded in faith. The father also has a duty to provide for the physical needs of the family. This includes securing food, clothing, shelter, and other necessities. However, White stresses that providing material support alone is not enough. fathers must also provide emotional support and guidance. Another important responsibility is setting a good example. Children observe the behavior of their father closely. If he demonstrates honesty, patience, diligence, and faith, children are more likely to adopt these qualities in their own lives. White also encourages fathers to be actively involved in their children's lives. Spending time with children, listening to their concerns, and guiding them through challenges strengthens family relationships. The chapter also warns against neglecting family responsibilities due to work or outside interests. Fathers who focus exclusively on business or personal ambitions may unintentionally weaken family bonds. White concludes by emphasizing that a father's influence is powerful and long-lasting. When fathers lead their homes with love and wisdom, they contribute to the development of strong families and healthy communities. Chapter 35: The Father's Influence. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explores the profound influence that fathers have on their children's development. She explains that a father's character, behavior, and attitudes shape the values and habits of his children. White emphasizes that children often look to their fathers as role models. A father's example teaches lessons that go far beyond spoken instruction. When fathers demonstrate integrity, self-control, and kindness, children learn to value these qualities. The chapter also highlights the emotional impact of a father's presence. Children who experience love, encouragement, and guidance from their fathers tend to develop confidence and emotional stability. White also warns that negative behavior can have lasting consequences. If fathers display anger, dishonesty, or irresponsibility, children may adopt similar attitudes. White encourages fathers to communicate openly with their children. Listening to their concerns and providing thoughtful advice strengthens trust and mutual respect. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that a father's influence extends far into the future. The lessons children learn from their fathers often shape their character throughout life. Chapter 36: A Father's Example. This chapter focuses specifically on the power of example in shaping a child's character. Ellen G. White explains that children learn more from observing behavior than from hearing instructions. Chapter 37: A Christian Father. In this chapter, Ellen G. White describes the qualities of a father who lives according to Christian principles. Such a father seeks to follow God's guidance in all aspects of family life. White explains that a Christian father prioritizes spiritual leadership. He encourages prayer, Bible study, and moral instruction within the home. The chapter also emphasizes compassion and patience. A Christian father treats his family members with kindness and understanding. White highlights the importance of fairness and justice. Fathers should make decisions that reflect wisdom and integrity. Another important quality is humility. A Christian father recognizes his dependence on God's guidance and seeks divine wisdom. When facing challenges, the chapter concludes by encouraging fathers to strive towards spiritual growth so that they can lead their families effectively. Section 10: Mother, Queen of the Household. Chapter 38: The Mother's Position. In this chapter, Ellen G. White describes the mother's role as central to the home. She refers to the mother as the queen of the household, emphasizing her influence in shaping the atmosphere and character of the home. White explains that the mother often spends the most time with children, especially during their early years. As a result, she plays a major role in their emotional and moral development. The chapter emphasizes that motherhood is a sacred responsibility. Through her guidance and example, the mother helps shape the future character of her children. White also highlights the importance of love and patience. A mother's kindness and understanding create a nurturing environment where children feel secure. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that the influence of a devoted mother extends far beyond the home. Chapter 39: The Mother's Work. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explains that the responsibilities of motherhood require dedication and wisdom. A mother's work involves not only caring for physical needs, but also guiding the emotional and spiritual development of her children. White emphasizes that mothers should actively teach moral values and life skills. These lessons help children develop responsibility and discipline. White encourages mothers to maintain balance between household duties and personal well-being. The chapter concludes by emphasizing the lasting influence of a mother's work. Chapter 40. The Mother's Health and Happiness. In this chapter, Ellen G. White discusses the importance of maintaining the physical and emotional health of mothers. She explains that a mother who is exhausted or overwhelmed may struggle to fulfill her responsibilities effectively. The chapter also emphasizes the importance of rest, proper nutrition, and emotional support. White concludes by reminding readers that the well-being of the mother greatly influences the happiness of the entire family. Chapter 41. The Mother's Opportunities. This chapter highlights the unique opportunities that mothers have to influence their children's character and spiritual development. White explains that everyday interactions such as conversations, guidance, and shared activities provide valuable opportunities for teaching. Mothers can shape their children's attitudes toward kindness, honesty, and responsibility. The chapter concludes by encouraging mothers to recognize the importance of their role and use every opportunity to guide their children toward positive character development. Chapter 42. The Mother's Ministry. In this chapter, Ellen G. White describes motherhood as a form of ministry. Mothers serve their families by nurturing, teaching, and guiding their children. White explains that the work of a mother has eternal significance because it shapes the moral and spiritual future of her children. The chapter encourages mothers to approach their responsibilities with faith, patience, and dedication. The chapter concludes by emphasizing the spiritual value of a mother's influence. Chapter 43. The Mother's Crown. In this chapter, Ellen G. White explains that the greatest reward for a mother is seeing her children grow into responsible and faithful individuals. The crown of motherhood refers to the joy and satisfaction that comes from successfully guiding children toward good character. White encourages mothers to persevere in their responsibilities, even when challenges arise. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that faithful mothers receive lasting blessings from their dedication. Chapter 44. The Mother's Responsibility. In this chapter, Ellen G. White stresses that mothers have a serious responsibility in shaping the future of their children. She explains that the early years of childhood are especially important for character development. Mothers should provide guidance, discipline, and encouragement during these formative years. The chapter concludes by reminding readers that careful parenting can shape children's lives in powerful ways. Chapter 45. The Mother's Influence. In this chapter, Ellen G. White describes the profound influence that mothers have on their children's lives through daily interactions and guidance. Mothers help shape their children's attitudes, values, and habits. White emphasizes that a mother's example often leaves a deeper impression than spoken instruction. The chapter concludes by encouraging mothers to use their influence wisely. Chapter 46. The Mother's Prayer. This chapter highlights the importance of prayer in motherhood. White encourages mothers to seek God's guidance in raising their children. Prayer provides strength, wisdom, and comfort during difficult moments. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that God hears the prayers of devoted mothers.